Test 1, 2, 3. All right. We are rolling back on the pod. I think it's been, maybe 2 weeks. That's kind of a long break, but we're back. Happy to be doing the pod. I'm going to do a solo today, check in with some like Q&A type stuff. And I do have a message that I want to start with at the beginning of this episode, which I will touch on here shortly. Housekeeping. What's been going on? I'm a dad now, so that's sick. Most of you who listen to this show or follow my stuff on the internet probably know that by now because it's kind of all I want to post about and talk about. And being a dad is like the coolest shit of all time. So everything that everybody said about being a parent was all true. It's definitely a lot of work. I've actually been getting quite a bit of sleep because my wife is a rock star, but it is hands down the coolest shit we have ever done. What's also fun is that I'm doing I guess you can call it IG Live while I'm doing this podcast, and nobody's participating with questions yet, which is fine because I have a whole list from yesterday. So I'll tell you something that's been going on throughout my mind, which I see so much of it because I talk to tons and tons of guys all the freaking time. Multiple dudes a day, complete strangers from all over the country that are all really good dudes. Most of them are married and have kids and have jobs and have a lot of shit going on. But obviously the reason they're on the phone call is because they know they're lacking in some sort of area. Obviously y'all know what I do. If you don't, I guess just go to my page and it's not too hard to find out. I coach men. And help them achieve their goals, whatever their goals are completely up to them. I just help them get from A to B all the way to Z. And then when they get to Z, I want them to fly away and live a great life. But I talk to these guys, and a lot of them, they talk, man. They talk. They have all these goals, and they know they need to be doing this stuff, and they want to be there for their wife and their kids, and they want to be able to climb the mountain to go shoot the elk this fall, and they just talk. But when it comes down to it, everything in life is some sort of an investment, right? I don't work for free. So when the price comes up, and 90% of these dudes, they can afford it because how do I know that? They tell me that. So it's the finance thing isn't an issue, but when it's actually time to pull the trigger and do all of the things that they're telling me that they're so excited to do, a lot of them don't. Why is that? Why do these guys not pull the trigger? They can afford it. I'll tell you why. Because there's two types of people in this world. There's talkers, and then there's doers. It's really that simple. A lot of guys talk, but take little action, because the action requires effort. Requires a lot of effort. Andrew Cunningham is in the live, and he is not a talker. He is a doer. He takes action. So why is that? You tell me. Is it frustrating? It used to be, because I'd have great conversations with these guys and they're all on board, and obviously I want them to join if they're going to be a great fit. But at the end of the day, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. Even if they tell you they want to, it's their decision in the end, right? And it doesn't even have to be working with me. It can be anything. It can be starting the business. It can be taking the family vacation trip that you've told your kids that you're going to do for the past 3 years, but for whatever reason, you're not doing it. It can be telling your wife that you're going to pick up the slack around the house, but for whatever reason, you're not doing it. You are a talker. And I'm not referring to anybody when I say that. It's just like something that I see. It's a kind of a common theme with guys when I get on the phone with them. And the guys that are doers, they join, and they're fucking killers, and they're awesome, and they're hardworking, and they actually take action, which is why they go from where they were at the beginning, and then they actually like achieve shit. It's a crazy concept. When people take action, 9 times out of 10, they actually achieve what they sought out to do, opposed to being the person who just talks, right? One of my good friends, Adam Grenda, I also coach Adam. That's like his biggest thing. You're either a talker or you're a doer. Like guys run their mouth so much, and it's all cute, but when it's time to work, for whatever reason, they just don't. And it's not even a finance thing. I have goals and dreams and aspirations just like the next guy, but like I actually want to achieve those. Therefore, I actually do what's required in order to kind of get there. It's wild to think about, but it requires work. What you say means nothing. What you do means everything. I recently heard that quote, and again, for you guys who've been following this shit for a while, know that I'm not a big quote guy, but I like that one. What you say means absolutely nothing. Show me. Show me. Show me what it looks like. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to require a lot of effort. It might even cost money. It might require early mornings, late nights, but you can do this all day, and I see it all the time. Hey, I'll call you back. No, you won't. You're not going to call back, and that's okay. You're going to remain where you're at, and it's nobody's fault but your own. Not saying I have all the answers, but like if they're doing it on stuff like these phone calls, I know that they're doing it in a million other ways in their life because I follow along afterwards, and I see that there's no progression. So which one are you? Maybe I'm just trying to open up some eyes for people who choose to listen to this episode when it comes out in a day or two. Some of you are getting a firsthand look at what it's like to do a podcast live. So that's what I got regarding that. I'm going to jump into this Q&A. For any of you guys that are on this IG live, there's a few of you and you want to have me answer a few questions. Maybe I will if they're good. But everybody on this live is a curious George and doesn't want to participate, which is totally fine. So I have a ton of questions. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. I'll answer the ones that I think are fun and will maybe help somebody in the process. So start with this one. Recent personal win. Obviously, just had a kid. I touched on that a minute ago. Coolest shit I've ever done. Coolest shit we've ever done. It will be the best and coolest thing that we'll probably ever do until we have, hopefully, another one. So being a parent is hands down the best. It is absolutely the best. It's a lot of work, but I just want to hang out with my kid. That's all I want to do. He's a month old today, actually, which is crazy. So that's like definitely a recent personal win and probably my biggest win of my life, which is great. A professional win. What is a professional win? We're working on a couple events through Nock Performance, which are pretty fun, and one of them sold out in like freaking 12 hours, which was really cool. Not making any money off that either. It's just getting a good group of people together and gonna do some hunting, which is fun. And then I have another event that I'm working on in the summer of 26. So that one will be a really big one that's going to require a lot of effort. So I'm pretty focused on that. And then just trying to help anybody that I can. Like I said, I do a lot of these phone calls with these guys who are looking to get better. And that's kind of my main goal. Cool. The live's participating. So I'll answer a few questions from here. What is the most frustrating part about being a coach? The most frustrating part about being the coach is that I was talking to my wife about this the other day after I got off the call with like another wishy, dreamy guy that's not going to do anything. Actually, I know this guy too personally. Hopefully he listens to the podcast and hopefully he realizes that I'm talking about him. But it's literally the closest thing to a sure thing as you can get. And I'm not just saying that because this is my business, but like all guys have to do is follow the program. That's it. Like just do what I ask you to do to the best of your ability and you're going to be fine. You're going to achieve all the goals that you came here for. So that's really frustrating when they don't follow it, man, because I put a lot of time and effort into each and every person that I work with. And when the effort doesn't get reciprocated, it's like kind of a bummer because I want that person to win. So The person who asked this question does not have any problem following the program. I think he's maybe missed one workout in like 5 months, and that's why he's in the best shape of his life. So, it's frustrating, man, but you can lead a horse to water. You just can't make it drink. I tell the guys all the time, I can't imagine investing in something and then not like taking full advantage of it. I have a guy, his name is Matt. I know he listens to the podcast. He won a giveaway that we did in Salt Lake. He won 3 months of free coaching, and he literally took it as seriously as if he was paying $10 million a month, which obviously that's not my price, but he never missed a workout. Or I think he missed one workout because his kid had like an allergy issue that he had to like tend to. Tracked all of his food, down 12 pounds in 3 months. It's like, and it was free. And now he pays and he takes it even more seriously. So it's like, that's definitely the most frustrating part, is when people don't like put forth effort, which is like whatever. It's a bummer. Wasn't feeling it, didn't want to do it, but knew I had to happen. Felt 100% better afterwards. Yeah, that's the goal. Yep, the ones that when you feel like doing it, they don't count. The ones that you do when you don't, maybe I messed that up. The ones when you're feeling it don't count. The ones when you're not feeling it, those are the workouts that count, and you're never going to regret going and getting in there. So well done to whoever sent me that message on here. Well done. Current challenges, trying to balance my life. I am responsible for a lot of human beings that count on me on a daily basis, and then juggling being a good husband, which I am, but that requires a lot of work, and then making sure I'm paying my son enough attention, even though all he does is shit, eat, and sleep. I still want to be there for every second of it. So trying to juggle life in that regard is definitely a challenge, but it's like, I want my life to be chaotic. I want it to be busy. I want to not know what day it is because I'm just freaking immersed in everything that I do. So, is that a challenge? Yeah, but is it fun? Yes. If you only had 5 exercises to keep you in top shape, what would they be and why? Okay, so I didn't prep for this podcast. 5 exercises. Let's try to do it. Back squats, pull-ups, push-ups, hanging leg raises, and then dumbbell shoulder press. That was pretty good. I thought I'd struggle with that, but I probably couldn't repeat that. But those are the 5 that I would do if I could only do those 5. Gives you a little bit of everything from top to bottom. Those would be my 5 if that's the only thing I could do to stay in top shape. Let's see what else here. What changes have you noticed in your mind or spirit since having your son? Good question. Holy fuck, we're getting deep on here. All right. What changes have you noticed in your mind or spirit since having your son? I just don't really care about a lot of like dumb, petty stuff that I would be like maybe obsessive over. Like, I just don't give a fuck about it. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. So I just want to be tapped into my wife, tapped into the people that work with me, and then tapped into my kid. And then other than that, I just don't give 2 fiddlers fucks about anything. Like, people on this live could just trash talk me all day long, and I'd probably just like smile and say God bless them instead of chirp back. So yeah, I'm not sweating like petty stuff, even though I kind of never have, but there would be times where I'd get the urge to like comment back if someone would try to just be a dick, because I like confrontation. I always have, probably always will. I don't know. I love confrontation for whatever reason, but yeah. So life is slowing down, but speeding up at the same time. So just trying to be more patient and polite, because I have an example to set. So hopefully that answers your question. That was from Jeff. Love you, dude. What does the Nock studio look like in 5 years? So I don't really have a studio. Like right now I'm in my basement, which is technically like an Airbnb, or at least it was. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, that's where I'm at. For you guys in the chat that want to check it out, I'm in my basement, and I kind of just made like a little remote setup, and then I have a place downtown that has a studio that I kind of make my own and hang up my sign and shit like that. But if you guys ever saw me on the Wild Chaos podcast with Bam, his studio is goals. That studio is fucking sick, and it's like upstairs in their, like, I think it was a spare bedroom that is definitely not a spare bedroom anymore. It's a full-blown studio with like mounts and guns and their sign and nice like one-seater leather chairs with microphones and booms and 3 different camera angles. So yeah, that's definitely the goal. If you haven't checked out the Wild Chaos podcast, it's going to be huge. It's already blowing up pretty quickly because Bam puts on a really great show and has a lot of really freaking awesome people on there. I was honored to be a part of it. Yeah, that's the goal. And maybe I've kind of taken, obviously I have a lot going on, but usually I do like 1 to 2 podcasts a week. And I think this is like the first one in maybe 2 weeks. So sorry, even though last week's episode with Cody Alford was a really big episode. So I'm kind of like picking my spots. I'm trying to do more in-person stuff. I might have one with a guy like a few hours away from me that I might travel to next week if we can get that on the calendar. I want to get out to Denver and do a couple. I want to get out to Utah and do a couple. The remote podcasts are great. But I honestly, like, I find all my guests on Instagram, and I haven't had a ton of time to like dive into people that I find interesting and then shoot them a message and then try to book it. One reason being is because I haven't put that much time into it. And the second reason being is that I'm not finding anybody very freaking interesting that I want to talk to and learn from. So if anybody in the chat knows of anybody cool that would be fun to interview and that is interesting, I'll talk to anybody about anything. It doesn't have to be hunting, fitness, or anything like that. I'll talk to literally anybody. And if you guys listen to this show on a regular basis, you probably have noticed that by now. I'll talk to whoever about whatever. Everybody has something to offer. So that's kind of like, I don't know. I'd like to build something out in the next year or two, but I also want to get out of this house and move somewhere else, preferably further west. So yeah, thanks for that question. That's a good one. Plans to homeschool, maybe. We're a long way away from that. How do you super serve your clients compared to other trainers? Ask my guys. They're all pretty well known. I repost a lot of them. So if you're thinking about like wanting to work with me, just message them and vet me, I guess, and ask them about their experience. But I have a pretty intimate relationship with every guy that I coach. I know about them, their family, their kids, what they do for work, what their goals are. We have pretty deep conversations, which is fun. I actually give a shit. I'm involved, and I can afford to be involved because I do this full time and I don't have a side gig. So yeah, I'm just actually involved. I have a lot of guys come to me from other like influencer type coaches. I'm not obviously going to say any names on here, but like they don't even get to talk to the person who like runs the company, which is crazy. When they do a sales call, they don't even get to talk to the coach. Somebody else closes them. When they do check-ins, it's like via text, and it's just pretty much bullshit. Bam, you just showed up on the live. I was just talking about your podcast. What's up? So yeah, that's what that looks like. Let's see what else we got. I'm going to get rid of this one. I got a bunch more. Have I ever dealt with any disc injuries? If so, how did it alter your training? No, I've never had any disc injuries. And it would definitely alter my training significantly. I do a lot of band work at the start of every workout, just to loosen up my shoulders, internal, external, like not dumbbell, but like band presses, stuff like that. So no, I've never really dealt with any disc injuries. And then obviously disc is back. I guess I'm thinking more rotator cuff, but no, I don't deadlift. So I think that's probably, I don't deadlift really hardly anymore, I should say. I think I deadlifted a couple weeks ago. But that was the first time in a long time, and it was only like 2 plates. So I stretch out a lot too. So I think that probably helps with my spine and alignment and stuff like that. When you said disc, for whatever reason, I was thinking shoulder stuff, but no, I've never had any disc injuries. They're tricky though, dude. Once you fuck up your back, like if you fuck it up good, it's really hard to come back from. Backs are very, very tricky. So recommended brand or type of pine pollen supplement. So I did a post that went pretty viral and I talked about pine pollen. It's like kind of my hidden gem in terms of supplements that people really fucking want to know about. And I'm not going to issue you guys any brands because nothing in life is free. So do your own research. I think it can be kind of sticky if I were to just start tossing out like supplement brands and, hey, you should take this, and maybe it doesn't agree with you. So there's like, you shouldn't just take it. That's what I'll tell you. You need to take it an appropriate way. And I have a reasoning for that. But I'm not going to disclose. So what I will tell you is like, don't take the recommended dosage like from the beginning, if that makes sense, and buy the expensive shit. That's all I'll tell you regarding pine pollen. If you want to know more, call me. Starting a career in law enforcement in a few weeks. Biggest piece of advice? Yeah, don't. I'm kidding. It's a great career. It's an honorable profession. What advice do I have for you if you're starting? Probably like maybe don't be like me in the academy and just shut the fuck up and just try to blend in. Maybe if you were in the military, you probably would already know that. I don't know if you are or not, whoever you are, Eric. And then just be a sponge. Like blend in, but ask questions, because you're never going to know the answer unless you ask questions. So that's the biggest thing that I have for you there. And I would recommend coming into the academy in very, very good shape too, because you're going to not only have to be very physically fit, but then you're going to have to be book smart as well. Like you have to learn the freaking law of whatever state that you're in. And that can be very challenging. It was very challenging for me. I'm not incredibly book smart, so I really have to study. And I can't imagine being in very bad shape and having to worry about that, and then having to worry about, learning the law and passing these exams as well. Because in my academy, if you failed more than one exam, you're out, and that's like it. And I moved 500 plus miles away, and I didn't really have a second option. And I did fail an exam, so it got pretty tight there for a minute, if you catch my drift. But luckily I was in really good shape, so I didn't have to worry about trying to make up for a lack of fitness, and I could really, really study and take the book work extremely seriously, because I needed to. And then what do you have? Always, always, always be willing to learn. There's never the way to do things. There's never the way to do things, just a way. That's from one of the cops on this IG live. I think I know what you're trying to say. Maybe what you're trying to say is there's more than one way to do it. You just maybe need to find your way. Maybe that's what you meant. So yeah, that's also true. And then you're going to, once you get cut loose into FTO program, you're going to work with dudes who you admire and you really like the way that they do things. And then you're also going to work with people who you don't necessarily admire and you don't like the way that they handle things. Take bits and pieces of things from everybody. So maybe you like what Andrew does and you want to implement that into when you get cut loose. Do that. Maybe you don't like what John does, so don't do what John does. And then you're going to have to create what kind of cop that you want to be. So that's kind of the best way to go about it. That's what I did. And it seemed to work pretty well. And then I kind of put my own little flavor on it as well. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, as the old saying goes. Is sugar from fruit okay? Yes, absolutely. And it's summer, and lots of fruit in the summer is great. So yeah, sugar from fruit is okay. Absolutely. What's my dream hunt? Not Alaskan bear. Yeah, so that is my dream hunt. Brown bears in Alaska with a rifle or a bow. I don't really care. What would I want to hunt after that? I don't know. Maybe like high country mule deer somewhere with a bow. That would be fun. Here's a question. Is your training for individual clients based on an app, or do you build a specific program for each person? That's a really good question. Yeah, so a couple of my clients are in here actually. Maybe you can shoot them a message. Farrell and then Andrew's in here. Everybody's on their own program. So we do use an app, but I build the program out and then put it on the app for said person to perform, right? Like, I don't know who you are, but for example, I have no idea what your program would look like because I don't know what you need. So I build it specifically for guys like Farrell, depending on what he's looking to do. So everybody's kind of doing a little bit of something different with somewhat common goals. I kind of toss hits around just because higher intensity workouts are a dime a dozen. I have hundreds that I give to guys if that's kind of what they're looking for. So yeah, but the 98% of your program is going to be built out specifically for you and for you only. What else do we have? Can clients do a second session if they fall off the wagon? No. No, they can't. They can come back if they had like a successful like experience, which they all do. But like if some dude like falls off 3 months into a 6-month ordeal and then like disappears and just didn't put forth any effort, and I'm not going to take that client back even if they want to pay a bunch of money. I don't need their money. I don't want their money. I want them to be here to achieve their goals. It's not fun for me if I put all this time and effort into said guy and they don't take it seriously, which is kind of like going back to what we said earlier. I want to work with guys who are fucking killers. Like, it's really that simple. So they have to work hard. So no, I do I give second chances? Of course, like people fall off for whatever reason, but if they just like ghost and just completely stop doing everything and then their contract is up, so to speak, no, like we don't do that again, because you've kind of already showed me your true colors, right? So I don't know if there's any other questions on here. Good deal. XD1 athlete, ex-military, but I'm 51 years old and have old injuries and such to work around. Yeah, that doesn't intimidate me at all, brother. Grant is 48 and he had, I should say, a ton of injuries, and we worked around those. So everybody's got nagging injuries, dude. So I'm not worried about that. If you want to talk, holler at me. That'd be fun. You'd be the oldest though, so as long as you're cool with that. Hunting pack recommendations. I run a Kafaru Bedlam. They sent that to me. That's the one I wanted. I had a relationship with a guy over there. He took care of me, which was great. I like that pack. I don't know if Kafaru packs are cool anymore because Aaron Snyder left. That's just what I've been told. So I have no idea. I like Kafaru. I think they're still really good packs. I know a lot of people are running the initial Ascent packs. I don't know shit about them, but everybody that runs one says that they're great. So in terms of like cubic inches and then like which model from those companies, it just depends on like how you're hunting and how many days you plan on hunting and what you plan on bringing in said pack. So whatever the Kafaru Bedlam is, however big that is, I like that pack. I can do that pack for a day or two, or I can do that pack for like 7 days if I plan accordingly and don't bring everything that I own. So, and I've packed full deer out in that pack. I've packed half of an elk out in that pack. So yeah, that's a good pack. I like it, but maybe Kafaro's not cool anymore. I'm not sure. I don't really get into that shit. So hopefully that answers your question. Can a client do? We answered that one. How much is high protein intake a way to reduce calories versus needed for muscles? I'm going to refer to the chat on this one. I have no idea what you're asking me at all. Yeah, I don't know what you're asking me. How much is a high protein intake a way to reduce calories first needed for muscles? I don't know what that means. Um, I think you should be eating a lot of protein, so a high protein diet is good. I prefer a higher fat diet as well. High protein, high fat, low carb. That's what works for me. It doesn't work for a lot of people, but I've been running it like that for a long time, and it's possible to gain muscle, and all of that shit that they tell you is not true. You can eat minimal carbs and still get jacked. How do I know that? Because I have done that and I'm currently doing that. So, um, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what you were asking. Um, Better luck next time, I guess. What else do we have? How do you convince your wife to get on the same page? That's a great question. I don't think it should require a lot of convincing. I think you should have probably vetted your wife in the dating stage to see if she was on like the same page as you. I don't know. Does that make sense? Uh, if you have a supportive wife, you shouldn't have to convince her to be on the same page with you at all. If you have goals that are going to better not only yourself, but your wife and your family, there shouldn't be much convincing to be had. At least that's my take on it. I know a lot of guys aren't in that boat, which is unfortunate. I always say to guys, man, your wife doesn't necessarily have to be on the same page as you, but she should at least be in the same book somewhere. Somewhere, somehow, she needs to be in the same book. She's at least got to meet you halfway. Um, that's a tricky question. I think you should vet that person in the girlfriend stage, or maybe even on like the first date to like see kind of where they're at. If like health and fitness is important to you and it's not to that person, like I could never be with somebody who didn't take that seriously. Like my wife takes very good care of herself. We both eat pretty much the same stuff, all organic. We both have goals, and a lot of our goals are very similar. So it doesn't take me much convincing in any regard. And if it does for you, that's unfortunate. Maybe just sit down and have a heart to heart. I mean, that's got to have good communication. So that's what I think. Hopefully that answers your question. Tips for staying on track. Tips for staying on track via like during vacation with your workouts and your nutrition. This is actually a really freaking good question. Something that I deal with a lot. I'll tell you what I'll do if I know that I'm going on a vacation. I'm still going to work out. One of the first things I do when I book a vacation or when I get to said vacation spot is find a gym. So it can be 5 minutes down the road. It can be 25 minutes down the road. I'm going to the fucking gym first thing in the morning, and my wife's coming with me. And that takes back to the last question, zero convincing. That's just what we do. I hate the term earn the day, but we do. It sets us up very, very well, and it makes us feel good about ourselves to stay within our workout routine. So find a gym. If you don't have access to a gym, chances are you can probably do some push-ups. Chances are you might be able to rip some burpees. Chances are wherever you're at has a floor where you could maybe do some sit-ups. Chances are you could probably knock out some air squats. You could do some jumping jacks. You could maybe even go on a run. If you're too lazy to do any of those things that I just listed, be active. So try to focus on getting 10,000 steps a day while you're vacationing. And maybe that's just walking downtown to go get a coffee, or maybe that's taking a stroll in the park, or instead of Ubering the 1.5 miles to the restaurant, maybe just fucking walk there and just move your ass, and then drink a lot of water. And then in terms of nutrition, I do this every day, but vacation is something like this is a strategy that I recommend to a lot of guys who do go on vacation, is to not eat your first meal until at least noon, and then have something small. And then if you're just starving and you can't handle the fact that you're just so freaking hungry, maybe grab a midday snack and a coffee. And then essentially, if you do that, you can have whatever the fuck it is that you want to have for dinner. You can go get pasta, you can go get a steak, you can go get whatever you want. Just have one big meal a day. You're on vacation. You're not going to be prepping your food or like making anything homemade, chances are. So you know you're going to go out to eat. Just don't eat like an asshole throughout the entire day. Like, don't go to the coffee shop at 8 a.m., get the freaking breakfast, egg and cheese sandwich, and then a coffee that isn't even a coffee. It's more like a fucking milkshake with 700 calories. Don't do that. Again, don't do that. Just use common sense. A lot of people struggle. It's like you can still do all these little things and be set up for success when you come home and not gain the 10 pounds that you just lost the previous like 3 months, right? So steps, water, work out, find a gym if you can, be active, get 10,000 steps, and then roll that way. And then treat yourself at night. Get a good dinner at night because you've kind of fasted throughout the day. So that's my biggest tips for vacation. What is your go-to healthy late night snack? One salty, one sweet. I like cashews, so I'll dummy probably 2 or 3 handfuls, too many cashews after dinner if I'm hungry. And then sweet, maybe like a banana and peanut butter, even though, yes, that does have carbs, but that's like 20 or 30 carbs. So yeah, maybe a banana and some peanut butter as a late night snack. What else do we have? If you're dealing with a lot of tendon issues, what would you recommend? 1, rest. 2, depending on which tendons, bar hangs are really good for your shoulders and your back and your neck. So just dead hang from a pull-up bar. And what would you, okay, if you're doing band work. So I kind of touched on it at the beginning. Like shoulder mobility, band work type stuff is really good. Maybe mess around with heat and ice. And if none of that stuff works, I'd probably go get it looked at. But those are a few things that you can maybe try to implement to help with the tendon issues. And then maybe like any type of compression sleeve. I don't know what tendons you're talking about, but any type of compression sleeve might help you out a little bit. So try that. Maybe a Nock performance training app one day. No, probably not. I just don't think I need it. It sounds like a really, really big project for what? I'm hands-on enough, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Probably not though. I've thought about it for like half a second and then it's like, why? The app that we use is really, really good and I can customize that how I see fit. So no, I don't think we'll do a training app anytime soon. How to overcome negative self-talk. Negative self-talk, maybe start with your thoughts first. So if your thoughts are negative, you should probably start thinking more positively. Because obviously your words are important, but the thoughts that go through your mind are equally as freaking important, like big time. And you're going to see, man, if you have negative self-talk and you like think that bad things are going to happen, they're going to fucking happen to you. They just will. So if you're thinking negatively all the time and that the world's out to get you and that you're not going to get the promotion and that you're not going to be able to lose the weight and that you're not going to wake up on time and then this person's not going to like you and then you're worried about what this person thinks and then is the weather going to be appropriate for tomorrow's hunt and then, will I kill this antelope or I can't do this. Like, you're exactly right. If that's how you talk to yourself, that's the shit that's going to come to you. You get the life that you create. And if you talk negatively and you think negatively, all of those fucking things are going to come true for you, which is unfortunate. On the caveat, if you have positive thoughts and you have positive self-talk, chances are those things are going to fucking happen. How do you know this, Tyler? Because I live it every day. Every day. If I think negative shit's going to happen to me, it happens. If I think that I'm a piece of shit, I'm going to probably be a piece of shit that day. And it just is what it is. It's again, it's not brain surgery. The hardest way to overcome this though is like people don't recognize it, right? So this person might be on the live and I was meaning to call him. But a good friend of mine, I was talking to him the other day and he said, I'm a nobody. And I kind of let that slide and I shouldn't have. Fuck that. What do you mean you're a nobody? I think he was kind of joking, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you can't, even if it's a joke, you can't really talk to yourself like that. You have to think highly of yourself. You should think highly of yourself. But that person didn't recognize it. I did. So that's kind of where, like, you just don't know until maybe somebody calls you out on it. Where it's important. Like, even if you're not serious, those words are fucking important. So, yeah, the biggest way to overcome negative self-talk is to, one, fucking recognize it. Exactly. Yep, you're right. And I'm referring to somebody in the chat right now. Yep, you betcha. What else do we have? Granda, toss me a question, dog. You ain't got time. I thought you were busy. I said, you got time. I thought you were busy, though. What hunts do you have going on this year? Standard Montana stuff. This is like one of the most popular questions I get asked. Hopefully archery, antelope. That's like one of my favorite hunts. Mule deer, and I'll do early mule deer because that's really fun. And then archery elk. And then if that doesn't bode well, we'll do rifle elk. And then I'll go to Ohio like I always do, which is really fun because it's like a whitetail mecca over there. So yeah, standard Montana stuff. Maybe we'll run into a bear, but antelope, mule deer, elk, bear, all in Montana, and then Ohio for whitetails. But yeah, I haven't. That's all I want to do. That's all I have time to do, and I'm content. People think that I'm just like fucking diehard with hunting, but it's a hobby of mine. Like, I don't live and breathe and die hunting. I love doing it, but I am far from like obsessed as some of these guys on here. So, okay, we're not going to answer that one from the chat. Yeah, I'll let you guys handle it. Okay. Garage gym talk was awesome. Keep it up. So yeah, that was a YouTube video that I did. So I don't think a lot of people know because I don't promote it a lot, but I post actual like lifestyle videos and training videos and all types of stuff on YouTube. Apart from like just podcast episodes. Like, obviously this episode will be on YouTube, which is cool, but I do film a lot of stuff and provide a lot of value on YouTube. So go check that out if you haven't. It's just Nock Performance, and you'll see the videos that I upload. They're really good. I don't even edit them. I have somebody do it, so they actually look very professional. The filming is subpar because I have no idea what I'm doing, but we do our best. And then I'm going to document some of my hunts this year, so I'm not afraid to pay somebody to come out and document my hunts. And then when I don't feel like doing that, I'll self-film a lot of stuff. I used to self-film like my whitetail hunts back in like 2020, and that was really fun. And I'm excited to do that again. I'm not sure how it'll work without being in a tree stand because I'm actually going to have to like move and try to film and shit. But yeah, can't promise we're going to get too many kill shots on camera because I'm probably just going to kill whatever it is and then not film it and then just show you what it looks like after. But yeah, that's what that looks like. I don't have any more from IG unless there's some people in the chat that want to throw me a couple questions. I'm going to stay on for another like couple minutes. So please be active on here if you want this to keep going. I am recording in live time. So, Mesa, burpees or hunting? Definitely fucking hunting, dude. Burpees suck. Hunting is fun. Dope video with Matt. That was inspiring as shit. Yeah, that was no, that wasn't the garage gym talk. That was just the one that I did with Matt. Yeah, Matt's the man. I already talked about him on here. And I think Grunda and I are rubbing off on him because he was like talking shit in the group chat the other day, which was super dope. Here's another question. Again, if you have questions on this live, please rip them because I am doing a live podcast and I have all of the other questions answered. So kettlebells or dumbbells? I did a post with a question like that. Definitely dumbbells. More of an old school approach, and I like old school workouts and like gym settings and shit. So definitely dumbbells, although kettlebells are great and you can still get a lot of shit done with those. Why does Matt have all of this confidence now? Matt has all of this confidence now. And for those, again, maybe I didn't elaborate good enough, but Matt is a client. Over here, he won the giveaway, and he was very unsure of himself when I first fucking met the guy. Came to the workout, did his best, but was in really bad shape. He has all this confidence now, man, because he's getting strong. He's getting strong. He's eating good, healthy foods. He's doing stuff that he necessarily doesn't want to do, but he's doing it anyways. For example, he works out at like 11:30 at night. And there's no way that he wants to do that, but he does it anyways. And when you start stacking days upon days upon days of doing shit that you don't want to do, but you do it anyways because that's just what the fuck it is that you do now, that, my friends, breeds freaking confidence. It's really that simple. That's why Matt is becoming more confident. It's because he's doing shit that he doesn't want to do. And he's also around a lot of other very, very confident guys that are on this roster that, yes, are rubbing off on him, such as me, such as Mesa, such as Grenda. These guys are motivating Matt and showing Matt that it's okay to be a man. Not that Matt wasn't a man before, because he was, but like it's okay to be confident in who you are. And again, surrounding yourself with people like that will breed confidence, and then doing shit that you don't want to do will breed confidence. There's a few people in here. Do you guys have any other questions? If not, I'm going to cut this off. And congratulations to me, because this is hands down the longest solo episode that I've done at 47 minutes flat. In the meantime, while I wait, we will do an Elite Hunt Club plug, which I'll have to do at the beginning of this episode as well. But I believe they're doing a 2026 brown bear hunt in Alaska. Haven't done my recon yet, but go buy some tickets. If you get drawn, you're going to Alaska to hunt freaking brown bears, which is my dream hunt. So tickets are probably anywhere from $20 to $40. They probably have it capped at around 2,000 people. So yeah, all you have to do is go to elitehuntclub.com and then sign up for their newsletter to be notified of any other like further hunt giveaways, and then just buy a lottery ticket. They'll draw, and maybe you'll win your dream hunt. Isaac, what's up? I was just talking about you today. I'm going to come see you guys. I'm hoping next month in July sometime. So hit my line. Let's catch up. I want to come see you guys and do a couple podcasts out there, come tour the shop and all that fun stuff. I've been talking to your boy too a lot, which I'm going to have him on the pod. You guys good? Are we good on pods? Pod questions? We good on pod questions? Okay, I think we are. That's all I got for y'all. I have a couple really fun episodes in the works. They're in person, at least the one that I really want to do. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I have one hopefully next week if this guy gets a hold of me. I'm going to go travel and see him and interview him, and it's going to be a banger. So, yeah, a little solo for y'all to fill the void of no podcast in the past 2 weeks, although the one with Cody Alford, if you haven't listened to it, is really, really fucking good. So that's what I got. I'm going to hop off this pod, and I'll check y'all on the next one.